everyone, how are you? It's Riss. So today I am going to be sharing with you some of my favorite recommendations for thrillers and horror books, which is perfect for October. These are mostly psychological thrillers. Those are always my favorite, and the horror ones are just mind-blowing. So I'm gonna start with my two number one horror recommendations, and these are The Deep and the Troop, both by Nick Cutter, and they are so freaking good. They're gross, they're addictive, and they make you wish that the book was over. I have his other book down here. I haven't read it yet, but I plan to this month. It's called Little Heaven, and I mean, if it's anything like his other books, it's gonna be perfect. And look how cute they are next to each other. Like, okay, slay. The Deep is about a disease that is taking over the world, basically, and the scientist believes that there is a cure for the disease in Mariana's Trench. So he goes, and it's a wild ride. And then The Troop is super reminiscent of Lord of the Flies. It is about a Boy Scout troop, and they are on an island, and it's another disease book. This one is really gross, and I guess I should say before you check any of these out, you should definitely check the trigger warnings, because they're horror books, but these two specifically, mainly this one, they have a lot of like body horror in it, which is kind of the hardest to digest. So definitely check out these two. The next book I have is really short. It is In the Miso Soup. It's like only about 200 pages, and it is a like Japanese horror. When I first read this, I didn't think that it bothered me that much. Like, I was like, oh, okay, that was something else. Then I kind of moved on. But then this book followed me into my dreams, so I would definitely recommend this one. I also have his other book, Piercing, which I am gonna read soon, another short one. So yeah, definitely check out In the Miso Soup. It's a little underwhelming, but I feel like it's something that honestly sticks with you. Like, it stuck with me a lot. Next, I have Life Ceremony by Sayaka Murata. I have a few other books by her. She also did The Woman in the Convenience Store, I think it's called. This is a, what's it called? Anthology of different stories and different timelines, and one of them is cannibalism. It's called Life Ceremony. You can kind of get that vibe. It's a collection of short stories. There are 12 of them, and it's really good. They all kind of center around society and the idea of what society would look like if certain things happened. So I would definitely say check out Life Ceremony. It's weird, it's good. I really do love weird, kind of, I guess just weird horror books. Speaking of weird horror books, I am going to hesitantly recommend Snuff by Chuck Palahniuk. I'll put a picture of it here. I don't have it with me right now, but that book is wild. I can't even begin to explain what it's about, but it's basically this adult film star has, like, she's trying to break a record or something, and these men all have sex with her, and there's like a plot twist that's really yucca, but it's really good. That one is really gross, like gross. So yeah, check that out, but only if you want to feel gross in a unique way. I can't even describe it. I have one true crime book, and I feel like this isn't really fair to put into, you know, horror and thriller, because this unfortunately actually happened. But I have to say, if you want a book that is going to stick with you, and if you want a book that you think in your mind there's no way that that's real, and also how do more people not know about that, If You Tell by Greg Olson is one of the most gut-wrenching books I've ever read in my life. It is pretty long, and I read it in one sitting. This case is absolutely insane, and it's been a while. I want to reread it, but I'm honestly shocked that more people don't know about this, and I'm also honestly shocked that the woman who's responsible is like free. Like, she's not in jail anymore, if she was ever. So yeah, this is not really a horror or thriller, but this is just, I have to give credit where credit's due. Whenever I think of the book that disturbed me to no end, it has to be this one. It's completely disturbing my friend who doesn't like to read. He read this, and he read it when we were on vacation, so I could watch his world just be absolutely ruined. So yeah, If You Tell is really, really good. So next I have 2 crime psychological thrillers. These are both really good and really hard to read, as always. So the first one is Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. She is kind of like a really famous crime author. People love her stuff. She's great. And this book is very popular for good reason. It's about 2 sisters whose third sister, I believe, went missing, and then the one sister's husband is murdered, so that brings the 2 sisters back together, and shit just goes awry. I ate this book up. And then I have Alex by Pierre Lemaitre. I didn't know this, but this is the second in a series that follows this detective, but it didn't make a difference reading it. The only thing about this book is it's translated from French, so some of the wording is kind of hard to follow, but it's fantastic. It's about a girl, Alex, who is being kidnapped, and she's basically like suspended in this thing above something, and rats come and get her, and then he's trying to find her, and he's trying to find why she is taken, and it says that she is no ordinary victim. I don't really remember too much about this, but this one I think really needs trigger warnings with essay, because there's one part of this that I remember that ruined my day. So definitely Alex by Pierre Lemaitre. I have 3 more books left, and these are just general psychological thrillers. The first is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. Lisa Jewell is one of my favorite thriller authors. Thrillers are what got me back into reading, so I kind of know who's my favorite. I think these 3 women are actually all British authors. Oh, it's a girl who learns where she came from and her identity, and she goes back to this house, and then it kind of takes place and you kind of find out where she came from, and there's like cult stuff in it, I think. And I know that there was a second one that came out kind of recently, but this one is really, really good. It was gripping. Her other books are great too, but this is the one that I think of the most when I think of her. The next one I have is The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. I'm a Ruth Ware hoe. I love her. She's so freaking good. She like never misses. But this is about a girl who goes on a cruise, which that setting is just like perfect. I will say I read this in the summer, and it did honestly give for a better reading experience in the summer, but this book was great. But yeah, she's basically on this cruise and shit goes down. I don't really remember the details about this one specifically, but it's really good. And then the last one I have is The Surrogate by Louise Jensen. I remember when this book was done, I literally took a piece of paper and like drew a map, like connecting the dots, because I wanted to explain to somebody like what happened, because I was so smitten with this book. This is about a couple who's having trouble getting pregnant, and in comes Lisa. Yeah, Lisa is basically gonna grant them their dream and be a surrogate. It's twisty, it's turny, and oh, I guess there's a note in it from my grandma. Yeah, she said, my grandma says, this book has the most intricate and twisted plot I have ever read. It keeps you reading. It was good. She says it's good, which means it's good. So yeah, those are my top horror, thriller, true crime recommendations for this month. I could definitely do a part 2. I love, love, love a good thriller, and I love a good horror book. So yeah, but anyway, I will talk to you guys later, and I love ya. Bye.